Well, hello there. Thank you for joining me here today, whether it's coming through the original Gun in 60 Seconds video or you've got this through a sub box or general inquiries about the PPSH-41. That is the gun we are looking at here today, and my god, this is a great gun, isn't it? I think you'd be hard to find many people using it in lobbies because it is so good. It's very early unlocked, which is also a big bonus to it. Very versatile, can compete at all ranges, it seems like. Very strong, very good gun to use, and you'll always find it on the ground, so it always makes for a handy secondary. High rate of fire, moderate damage, 35 bullets per magazine, very neat iron sights. It just is such a good versatile gun. It competes in all situations and at all ranges that it's no wonder that so many people use this gun. It did struggle in the beta, I found. I didn't really like it at all in the beta, but it seemed as soon as the bar got its first nerf that this gun suddenly became very, very viable and extremely used out of most people as an SMG option. And I can see why, because a lot of the SMG options at that time were pretty pants, but I think we've had a few buffs to some of the submachine guns individually, which make them a little bit stronger. But this is still probably the preferred gun to go with in that category. So let's talk a bit more about the classes that I rock. For a long time I was using the infantry division on this one. I think early on it was because I wanted free attachments, especially when I prestiged. I wanted to be able to use advanced rifling, grip, and quick draw, which is my preferred attachments on it. So that's why I initially started rocking it. But I really enjoyed the extra strafe you can get, and I still think that's a very good thing to do. If you've got a good accuracy and you're very mobile and you can aim pretty well when you are being very mobile and strafing a lot, it's extremely good to have. The extra magazines are great if you're someone who goes on a long streak, and obviously that extra primary attachment. I don't think that's necessarily the best division to go with anymore. I did find that I was struggling a little bit when using that division as a whole. I would have liked to have been a bit faster at getting around the map and beating people to certain choke points, especially at the start of matches to get first bloods and stuff like that. And generally just traversing the map a lot quicker in general was something that I was lacking with this class. I think Airborne is definitely the way to go, just having a lot faster movement and that extra suppressor attachment, which I've never really been a big fan of these suppressors. I've always found them to be really spongy and not very helpful, but with the PPSH recently I found that it's absolutely phenomenal, really, really strong, and I'm really enjoying using it, and I opt to use it most of the time rather than not. I think that Mountain is definitely a division you can go with, considering you can have primed as a basic training, which gives you that ability to have free attachments, and I think you only ever really need free attachments on this gun to get the most out of it. It has everything you would need. I know a lot of people tend to put the extended mags. I'm not really sure why, because I don't think you really need it. I think it's unnecessary to have that many bullets. 35 in a magazine is pretty damn sweet, if you ask me. Yeah, Mountain's a good one, obviously staying off the UAV if you're a bit more of a slower player for that sense. But I think there are basic trainings that will help you do that anyway. As far as attachments go, the lens sight is pretty decent. As a first attachment, it's not bad if you're not a fan of the eye sights, although I'm not sure why you wouldn't be, because they are so clean and so easy to understand. Maybe at ranges they can be a little bit hard to keep control of with some of the recoil you might experience, but definitely a decent attachment. I think quick draw is a good one just because of that quicker ADS time, which I find is very vital in certain situations, snapping onto people as quickly as possible. Reflex sight, I've not really had much success with reflex sight. I'd rather go with the lens sight if I was going to put one on, but again, I think the iron sights are great. Grip is fantastic on this, probably the best attachment you're going to have on this gun. Simply because when it comes to those longer ranges, you are going to have a lot more control over your gun. And if you want to compete with things like the bar, I know the FG-42 got a nerf recently, the STG, you want to be having something like grip on just to keep your aim a little bit steadier. I don't think FMJ is worth it. If you're getting to a point where you need FMJ with this gun, you're probably not using the class correctly, or you're not SMGing appropriately. Advanced rifling, another great attachment. I think if you were going to go with 2 attachments, it's probably going to be grip and advanced rifling. Just absolutely melts people at range, and it really gives you a lot more consistency going forward when you are having gunfights. Extended mags is okay. Maybe if you're playing a war game mode, or you're playing a objective mode that you're going to need a lot of shots and you haven't really got time to reload and you're not running hustle, you will find that you need to run something like extended mags. Rapid fire is not necessary. This gun has such a high rate of fire, you are not going to need any form of rapid fire, okay? Basic trainings, hustle's great. I ran hustle for a long time. I liked being able to quickly reload and get back into the fight. I liked being able to run and reload at the same time. Getting in people's faces very quickly was great for me. Primed is now my preferred attachment. I just found I was losing a lot of gunfights at range to assault rifles just because of the flinching and the sheer lack of hit detection when I couldn't actually keep my aim on them. So having that and the extra attachment is fantastic for me. Undercover is pretty decent with a silencer, I would say, if you're looking to run something like that. Energetic, being able to run again a bit sooner afterwards, definitely a beneficial basic training if you're someone who doesn't really like to be caught out in the open, wants to get to cover as quickly as possible. Inconspicuous, having that silent movement is always good for those maps where sound is really, really vital, and in kill-dependent game modes. And flanker, being able to move quickly and not be caught out by the UAV is a really good way of getting around mountain, keeping your speed, keeping your surprise element intact, and just generally being a nuisance to other people. But yeah, as I would say with this gun, there's not a lot you can really do that will make it not work for you. It is a fantastic gun. It's very generous in a lot of areas, this particular weapon. So just keep experimenting. I think most of you will probably agree that this setup that I've suggested is the best one. But everyone's got their own preferences on what they want and what they need. You might find that some of the attachments I've suggested aren't really necessary, but I find them to be the best ones to go with. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace out.